Good evening and welcome to Alberta Primetime. I'm Jennifer Martin.
And I'm Jefferson Humphreys. Just ask any new mom or dad. One of the biggest challenges of parenthood is just trying to get enough sleep.
Whether out of desperation or choice, some parents keep their infants in bed with them. But it's a practice that could actually put babies' lives at risk. That debate is coming up.
Also tonight, high-tech encouragement to get off the couch.
And the race to replace high-profile MLA Ron Stevens. Our political panel looks ahead to an important Alberta by-election.
But first, bed sharing. That's where Alberta Primetime begins tonight.
Could nighttime cuddles put your baby at risk? Of 147 infant deaths in Alberta between 2005 and 2008, nearly half were connected to bed sharing. That's when a baby sleeps on the same surface as another person. Health officials say the safest place for your baby is an approved crib, but many parents keep babies close through the night for convenience and comfort. Should mom and dad's bed be off limits, or can babies sleep safely in the family bed?
Well, let's find out. Dr. Tamara Hanoski is a registered psychologist and joins us in our Edmonton studio. In Calgary, Judy Arnall is a parenting author and mother of 5 who also represents Attachment Parenting Canada, an organization that promotes co-sleeping. Dr. Ian Mitchell comes to us from Saskatoon today. He is with the Department of Pediatrics at the Alberta Children's Hospital in Calgary, usually. Welcome to Alberta Primetime, everyone.
Thank you.
Well,
Hi.
Alberta Primetime has been looking at this issue. A lot of our viewers might do it, some may not. Dr. Mitchell, let's start with you and find out what exactly to you is bed sharing or co-sleeping. Would you recommend it?
Well, thanks, Jennifer. I'll also be interested to hear from you because I know you told Judy I was the polar opposite of her, and I want to make it really clear that I believe strongly in intimacy between mothers and infants as being very important. But we're dealing with babies dying, and the information you give is correct. The infants are dying and the numbers are increasing. The numbers are small, but every time a baby dies, it's an enormous tragedy. We got confused by language when we talked about bed sharing, and then parents started to sleep on the sofa with the infants, and sleeping on the sofa is much more dangerous. So at the moment, the death of an infant, sudden infant death syndrome, is now rare. It's around about 1 in 2,000 births. So actually you can do what you like in 1,999 cases, and actually your infant will be okay. But of course for that other case, it's a tragedy. So I don't know of any study that has shown that having an infant in the bed with a mother is safe. There are ways of making it, reducing the risk a little, but no way of making it absolutely safe. So what do I think? I think babies should be very close to their parents. They should be in something designed for babies. That is a standard up-to-date crib. They should be very close to the parents' bed and very close to the mother's side of bed.
Judy, you're with Attachment Parenting Canada and a proponent of families sleeping together. Can you give us your take on why parents love it so much, why it's a good thing in your view?
Well, what we call as bed sharing is basically sharing the same sleep surface as baby and parent. Why we like to encourage it for parents to choose that option is that it does promote the ease of breastfeeding, which is very important. We strongly encourage the breastfeeding relationship in the first year and definitely in the first 6 months. And as any parent knows, it's a lot easier to facilitate breastfeeding when through the night, through the day, when you're not getting up 6 times a night, going down the hall and getting your baby from a crib.
But isn't that dangerous? The risk of suffocation for infants sleeping in adult beds, and I would imagine that could include during times of breastfeeding, 40 times higher than the risk for suffocation with them sleeping in cribs. That's the finding of the Calgary Health Region's Regional Infant Sleep Committee's commissioned report on infant sleeping practices and sudden infant death syndrome. So how do you justify what you're saying with that statistic?
Well, we know that suffocation can be a major risk factor, but to be honest, there is no sleep environment that is 100% safe, including cribs. So we encourage parents to look at that and make your sleeping environment as safe as possible. But because there's such a stigma around bed sharing, many parents don't talk about it, but they do it, and they don't get the information on how to do it safely.
Okay, well, let's bring Dr. Hanoski into the conversation, our registered psychologist. Are there emotional benefits for babies as well as parents?
There definitely are some emotional benefits for the baby, especially a brand new newborn baby. It's obviously going to feel very comfortable being near the mother, being near her warmth, having her scent and her heartbeat. You know, it's just calming and nurturing for the baby that's brand new, fresh out of the womb. For the mother as well, I know a lot of moms with a brand new baby are very anxious and they don't want to have their baby separate from them. And they, even though I know there are risk factors in their mind, they think as long as their baby is near, they can watch them more carefully, and they're more frightened to have them in a different room where something could happen. So to have that baby right nearby and be able to watch over them can make them feel a lot more comfortable as a new mom.
So there's immediate bonding there, and it can be good for mom. We're going to ask you a little bit later, though, how good is it for your marriage? How good is it when that child gets a little bit bigger, 6, 9, 17? But first, Alberta Primetime's Chad Carrier went out to visit a Calgary family that does share one great big bed.
Sandra, Keith, and their son Benjamin are a close-knit family.
There you go. All right.
And that closeness extends into the bedroom.
Bed sharing for our family is essentially having our child in bed with us rather than in a crib or a separate room. It just feels right for us. We like being close to our son. What's this thing?
A tree.
A tree.
The setup involves 2 king-size mattresses laid out on the middle of the floor.
We happen to believe, following an attachment parenting view, that this kind of closeness will actually create more of a trusting mind as he's growing and make him more independent later on.
But there are risks associated with co-sleeping.
When Ben was a lot smaller, when he was just a baby, we made sure we kept pillows away from him, blankets away from him, that sort of thing, because you have to be careful with those concerns with suffocation or overheating.
The biggest controversy in the first year is safety, and then after that, I think the issue becomes more of social issues that we've come across.
The bond created through co-sleeping has strengthened the family unit.
Instead of actually becoming more dependent on you, which I think a lot of people are concerned about with the family bed, they later on are very trusting and they become actually more independent.
Keith and Sandra are expecting another child in the winter, and they plan to safely readjust the room. As for Benjamin, he'll continue to co-sleep in the family bed until he's ready to leave on his own.
John's on.
So, what should we do? Should we sing a song?
Yes.
While co-sleeping may not be for everyone, Keith and Sandra say it's a natural fit for their family.
Follow your instincts. And number one, I think, is really enjoy and savor that time because it is pretty special.
You know, enjoy it. It's one of those things where I think a lot of people don't want to admit that they co-sleep with their child, but in actuality, a lot of people do, and it's just very beneficial for yourselves and also for your child.